What is the major asset of a company? When this question is asked to employees or business leaders, the answer varies between customers, products, R&D, cash, brand, and a few others. But the most popular answer for years has always been people. Well, from a human capital management perspective, this answer is unfortunately incorrect, or at best, incomplete. Very wise experts, such as Professor Evans from INSEAD, have illustrated this by a simple example. When a company announces a plan to make a number of people redundant, in the vast majority of cases, the stock value of that company doesn't go down. It increases. The reason why the valuation of a company doesn't go down when people are made redundant is simply because companies don't value people just because they are people. You know, the same way we value our friends and families. For parents, a child is their major asset, no matter the circumstances. But when a business unit performs below expectation, or the economy is in recession, companies often need to drive their costs down, and people are usually one of the most important costs. Now, it's not about whether this is right or wrong. It's just an observation. In many cases, people don't necessarily fall on the list of the major asset of a company. So if people are not the major asset of a company, what is then the major asset? The answer is simple. It is the competences of the people, and even more precisely, the usable competences of the people. And you would be wrong to think that there is a semantic trick here. If you analyze the underlying thinking process of decision makers, even in the worst economic crisis, the last asset they will let go are the key competences of their company, not simply lucky people or protégés. Now, because usable competences are the major asset of the company, it is the company's interest and responsibility to ensure that each team member can assess their competences in order to develop them at the appropriate level, ideally with the support of the company. This is precisely what the competence positioning framework does. It's very simple, and everything you need to know fits on this one page. The language used is universal business language, and you won't need a PhD in human resource management to understand it. In a nutshell, a competence is made of three elements: skills, knowledge, and attitude. Skills is what the team member can do for the company. Knowledge is what the team member knows, the knowledge that can create value to the company. And attitude, behavior, is how the team member uses his or her skills and knowledge in the company environment. The competence positioning framework suggests that there are 5 different levels of competences. Let me show you. The first level, starter. Keywords, learning, first level, strong guidance. The next level, confirmed. Keywords, good level, achieves objectives, moderate guidance. The third level, experienced. Keywords, full level, creative and effective, totally independent. The next level, specialist. Keywords, develops new concepts, internal reference for others, provides conceptual guidance. And the ultimate level, guru. Some keywords, develops new concepts, internal and external reference, is a mentor to others, is a role model in behavior. To assess a level of competence, we obviously need to refer to a specific role. This is obvious because someone may have competences in different fields of activities, but assessing this person's level of competence is only relevant against the requirements of a given role. The easiest way to do this is simply to look at the role description. In our role positioning framework, it's called RDP, a one-page description that should be available for every role in a company. Once we are clear about the role, we can assess the level of competences of the individual against that role. In the competence positioning framework, there are 4 positioning criteria, each of which is illustrated by a short description. Let me take you through it. The first criterion, the general level of comfort in the role. How comfortable the individual is in the role. For instance, is he or she learning or seen as an expert? The second criterion, the operating mode. How the individual is perceived to operate. For instance, follow standard practices and instructions, or exercises judgment outside defined practices or procedures. The third criterion, coaching and guidance. For instance, receiving guidance or providing guidance. And finally, the fourth criterion, the attitude, the behavior. For instance, from being simply open-minded to inspiring respect. I wish to emphasize this fourth criterion because many people seem to struggle with it. Let me take an example. We all know subject matter experts who are highly regarded for their technical skills and knowledge. At the same time, they are known to treat their colleagues or business partners with little respect. Well, the competence positioning framework emphasizes the importance of the behavior of an individual to the extent that he or she could not be recognized as a specialist or a guru if he or she doesn't demonstrate the appropriate attitude described in the framework. Now finally, the good news is that competences are not only the company's major asset. They are also our major asset as individuals. This means that both company and team members have here a common and universal interest in developing our competences. However, because our competences are our major asset, we should all consider that it is our personal primary responsibility to constantly assess our competences and ensure we keep them up to date. We should never forget this. We are at the end of this module. Hopefully, you now have a good understanding of the competence positioning framework and the importance of it to the company and to each of us individually. To learn more about it, as well as to understand how it interacts with the role positioning framework, the performance management framework, and the reward and benefits framework of our company, we recommend that you attend one of the 60 Minutes webcast or live trainings that regularly take place on this subject. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.